Good evening, everybody. It's now the 22nd of July, and thought I'd just give you a little update on the plot thus far. They're my few medium decoratives. I've got Westerton Harry and Mary Margaret Rowe, and just got one or two of those to thin out. Too much growth on those, but I just concerned that one or two might be running a bit early, so I'll give it another week or so, and then any that are budding up I'll take out and leave some of the younger growth to come through. Further down I've got some Jane Lamy, which at the moment I've run at 4 up, and I shall knock one of those out in due course. And further down there's some huge Westerton Lillian, which one or two have started to bud up already, so I'm hoping that they'll respond kindly to a knockback. And then the next row I've got some about 6 or 8 plants of good old favourite Kenora Sunset. They've all been reduced to numbers. I've got a couple of odd plants of Light Accord down there, and then followed by all my Kenora Challenger. And they're all running at about 4 to 5 up at the moment. I shall obviously make sure they're running at 4 up. But I'm just concerned one or two might be running a little early and may well have started to bud up. So I'm just hoping that the majority will hang on for another couple of weeks. In which case they'll be should be just right. We walk along the row. The majority of the plants are looking pretty healthy. Just one or two odd ones that I've lost due to the gales the other week, knocked one or two over. This is we've got 4 plants of Clearview Edie, which I've got far too much on those at the moment, so I'll take those down to 4 up over the next few days. Then I've got some odd plants of some Bryn Turfil and some Aggie's White, followed by all my Kenora Valentine. The Valentine, some of them are looking really nice, I think. I think they're running at 3 to 4 up, well 4 up at the moment. Most of them are 4 up, and I shall knock one of those out over the next week or 10 days. Just depends if they start to bud up early. Just trying to get them for the shows first and second week in September, ideally. Then I've got all my medium semi-cactus. These are all Eastwood Moonlight. I've got about 16, and then about 12 cream Moonlight and 4 white Moonlight at the end. They've all been reduced to numbers already. Again, might just have to take one or two off of each, depending if they. But I think they're looking all right. I think they're not threatening to bud up just yet, so that's good. Next row is got some Rycroft Helen, and then some Hillcrest Candy, which I've not had much luck with recently, the last few years, but I thought I'd persevere, and some White Candy. Again, they've all been reduced, but I've just got to knock out maybe 1, possibly 2 laterals from each plant, because they look like they're quite strong plants. So I'm just again waiting to see if any bud up too early, and then they can come out. Then I've got the small decks. I'm really pleased with these plants at the moment. They're running at about 8 up at the moment, and obviously we'll take 1 or 2 out of those over the next week or so. And I've got a mixture of I think pretty much all the Dianes. I've got some Winholm, Cream, Primrose, Happet and Tracy's, and I've got about a dozen or 14 Blighton Everest at the end there. And then the last row over the back there is some Cherwell Goldcrest, and about a dozen Oakwoods at the end. Didn't have much luck with the Oakwoods this year propagating wise, but hopefully I can find a vase or two out of the 12 plants I've got, and if not, I've got plenty of Cherwell to fall back on. Hopefully they'll come good. Right, off to the next plot. Right, these are my few poms, just a little pom bed, just really sort of giving them a trial this year. I don't usually grow many poms, so I think I've got five or six varieties and just about 8 or 9 plants of each, although I did lose 1 or 2 plants. I couldn't tell you which are which off the top of my head, but other than that, this one here is Storrs Julie. I've not grown that before. And then there's some, I've got some Ivors Rhonda. Not sure if that's, yeah, that's Ivors. So then Storrs Julie. Then I've got some Willows Violet. And More Place. Oh, and some Irish Glow. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, 5 poms. And then I've just got some oddments. I've got 4 plants of Blighton Shiraz, 4 plants of a Barbary, of all things, Barbary Vulcan, 6 plants of Marston Lilac, which I was growing for a wedding this year, but unfortunately that's been postponed, or at least part of it has, that we were going to have the flowers for, so I have to grow that again next year. And that's another one I can't remember the name of, but anyhow. So then we'll just go on to the next plot. Well, this is a row of Rycroft Zoe and Greenway Zoe, and over the last few days I've had one plant just collapse on me, which I hadn't got around to taking out yet, but it's just snapped off at the base. Oh. Still a little bit of growth at the bottom there, but that won't be any use. But yeah, so I've got some so the Greenways and Rycroft. I've had to knock back a number of those today that have all budded up, which is not unusual for those. These are Tahi Ruby and Gwyneth Water Lilies. There's a couple of oddments at the ends, just some trial ones, but so we'll see what they look like. Then I've got another row of water lilies. These are Cameo and Pam Howden and Kilburn Glow at the end, up towards the end. These are my Mary's Germander and a few Germander at the end. I had a disaster with my Germanders this year. They just wouldn't root, so I've only got about 8 plants of Germander. These are Dave's Choice, and then further up I've got Blighton Lady in Red and Blighton Valentine, which are looking nice, strong plants. Did well with it a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Hoping for for good things from that again this year. And then what have we got here? If I start from that end, I should know what I've got. So I've got Western Ella Grace, which is coming on nicely. Oh yeah, Polventon Christabel, which aren't looking too bad. And oh, mine's gone blank. Let's have a look. Come on, label. Oh yes, Blighton Stella. It was one I hadn't grown before. Yeah, one little plant against the rest, but they're looking okay. And then the last couple of rows are all the miniature cactus. So I've got Western Buccaneer. Again, I've stopped, knocked back a lot of those today, but I shall let the rest come now. There's a few buds on them, but that'll give me time to evaluate how much disbudding to do on them. So I'm going to let them all come now. Then I've got some Jasudi Hercules. They're looking nice plants, and Western Pirate at the end there. And again, this side, one or two plants I'm losing, not really sure why. It's either they was damaged by the strong winds the other week, or possibly something's burrowing underneath. We have a lot of problems with mice and rats and all sorts over here, being that nearly every household has got chickens. So and they tend to burrow under the ground a lot, but that plant's not looking too healthy. But that one is Jasudi. No, sorry, that's I think that's a Spanish dancer. It's either Carol's or Western. And again, two plants here just gone over. I just died off. Not sure what's caused that. They were two Carol Spanish dancer. I suspect that it was the wind the other week, but they're not snapped off completely. Still a bit of growth at the bottom to come. But just all gone ever so woody. So yeah, not sure what's caused that. But yeah, Carol, and then I've got an odd plant of Marston Suzanne which has crept in. I think it was because it was next to the Western Stardust. Not Western Stardust, Jasudi Starburst, sorry. Just Jasudi Sunburst, I think it's called. Yeah, I think I've got 5 or 6 plants of those. An interesting colour, but I think it's quite nice. Yeah, Jasudi Sunburst. Oh, there's so many sound the same. Then I've got Jasudi Telstar and Jasudi Polaris. I've just got 4 plants of Polaris. Came a bit big last year, so I've double stopped it, and I shall see what happens to that this year. And then these are the stock beds, or some of them. These are all the miniatures that run along, all along the back there. So I've just got a few Jasudi Telstar and a Western Pirate, a few other bits and pieces just starting to come into colour down there. The one interesting one, I've got a Germander there, and then what should be Mary's Germander. And at the moment I've got 2 that are very pink down in there. It might just be because they're hidden in the undergrowth. But two very pink Mary's Germander. Right, and that's it. So another few weeks there should be much more colour showing on some of them. So see you again.